In this section, we are going to talk about what we call annuities and sinking funds. So, as a reminder, in the prior section, we learned formulas for both the future and the present value of an investment. And both of those were for what we call compound interest. And what you will notice is on all of those, we assumed that some lump sum was invested once, and no other deposits or withdrawals were made, and only interest was added over the duration of the investment. So everything we talked about in the prior section was we're going to invest this money once into this account, and we're going to let it do its thing for however many years and check back on it after that. Okay, so what is different about annuities and the rest of the sections in this unit is that in this section, we're going to learn about other financial plans that are characterized by what we call periodic payments or deposits, one way or the other. So you're either making periodic payments on a loan or you're making periodic payments into an account. So that's what's different. Whenever all of these are mixed together in a quiz or a test, that's the key that you're going to be looking for to distinguish between which formula you want to use. So first we're going to talk about what's called an annuity. An annuity is a financial plan characterized by these regular payments or deposits into an account. You may see the word term. Term is the time period in which these payments are made. So some annuities, such as retirement pensions, provide money to you, while others, such as car loans and home mortgages, require that you pay someone else. So technically, all of these things that we're going to talk about are annuities. They're just different types and formulas solved in different ways. So we're going to study only in this course what we call ordinary simple annuities. So everything we talk about is going to be subject to these conditions. The terms are going to be fixed time intervals. So very fixed, every month, every year, every quarter, whatever it is, it never fluctuates. The periodic payments are also equal in size, so the payments do not fluctuate. The payments are made at the end of the payment periods, and the payment periods coincide with the interest conversion periods. So again, you don't really have to worry about these. That will just be true about any question you're given. What's important to know is that there are other types of annuities. There are tons of way more complicated annuities where those things aren't necessarily true. Maybe payments do fluctuate in size, or maybe the time intervals do change. And that just makes them a lot more complicated. And we're just focusing kind of on this basic type. And believe me, they are hard enough. For all of the formulas that I am going to provide in my notes and on my note sheet, again, they're going to look similar to the ones we've already used, and this may be a slightly different notation from other texts or in Newton or in, if you go online and watch YouTube videos, but they're all the same, just different versions of these same formulas. So for us, I use capital R as that periodic payment amount, right? Because that's new. Everything else is the same. The principal is the same, accumulated amount is the same, little r interest rate is the same, time and number of times compounded. We've already used all those variables. So the new thing for this section is capital R, that periodic payment that's either you're making to someone or you're depositing into some account for yourself. So we will use one of these two formulas when you know what that periodic payment is, right? You know what R is. Somewhere in your problem, they've said this is the payment you're making, and you want to either find the future value, how much this will have sometime in the future, or the present value, like what do I need to do now in order to make this happen? So the first step to these problems is always to read very carefully and decide upon the following factors. So the first question is always, is this even an annuity? So are there periodic deposits or payments that are being made? If you can determine that, then we're in the annuity world, not in the regular compound interest world. And then you want to ask yourself, am I looking for a present value or a future value? Because that will determine which one of these versions of the formulas you want to use. And these really are different formulas because notice the P and the S are not both in there together, so you can't just rewrite one in terms of the other one. These really are different formulas. And then if the question asks you for anything other than the future amount or the present amount, then you will require one of these formulas and then a separate subtraction, multiplication, or division step. Okay, so these formulas just give you either that, they tell you either the future or the present. If they want to know something else beside that, then you'll probably have at least one or two more steps to take after that. Okay, so I'm going to cut this video here and we will jump into the first example in the next video.